Welcome. My name is Karen Midlow, and I'm joined with Christine Souza. We are end-of-life doula givers. Learn Idaho is proud and honored to introduce you to Barbara Karnes. Barbara Karnes is a renowned expert in the field of death and dying. For over 4 decades, Barbara has made significant contributions as an end-of-life educator and advocate. Yes, she started when she was just a baby. She is so well respected in this field, and we are so grateful and that she is donating her time and her talent. You'll notice my sweatshirt, which says people don't die like they do on the movies. Barbara's here to offer you a monthly basic with Barbara, and she'll help educate us all about how people don't die like they do in the movies. You might have heard Barbara Carnes's name from one of her well-known books, Gone From My Sight, which has been in the hands of millions. How many people, Barbara? How many people?
We're up to about 30 million.
Just 30 million copies of this little blue book, and we have her here with us today. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Christine. Enough of me yakking. Let's hear about Barbara.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Barbara and Karen, for joining us today. Super excited that you're here. I just really have one question, and it really is truly a big question, but what is hospice? And maybe most importantly, what does hospice not provide for people? Can you explain the difference?
I can. Hospice takes care of people that the doctors can't fix. It is Medicare certified, and that's where their reimbursement comes from. And kind of the criteria for hospice is that a physician says you have 6 months or less to live. Now, the upside of that is if you get on hospice and your condition is not deteriorating, then you go off of hospice. And what you've gotten in the meantime is support and guidance on how to live with a life-threatening illness. Um, Hospice provides nursing for evaluation and support, symptom control, pain management, home health aides for bathing and physical support in that, social workers for community resources and emotional support, um, chaplain services is another. Chaplains are not religious specific, they're spiritually specific in to help and support a person and a family. And that's really important. Hospice doesn't just take care of a person that's diagnosed with a life-threatening illness. Hospice takes care of the family and the caregivers as much as they do the patient. So they're all wrapped up into one, we're going to help you all through this challenging, often frightening, scary time in people's lives. So have to have a physician order, and then the nurses will visit according to need. Um, and that's going to depend upon the physical place where the patient is. Home health aides will give the bathing. Generally, that's on a regular schedule. I guess that's kind of I should say also that hospice has volunteers that are trained in end of life, and they will patient sit. They will run bereavement groups, which is another thing. Hospice provides bereavement support following the death. What I think is really important is that to recognize everything leads up to the moment of death. That's why hospice or end of life doulas support the family from the time of diagnosis, is what I like. It doesn't always happen that way, up until the moment of death. The moment of death is the goal because hospice takes care of people that are going to die. And I put that bluntly, but that's true. And then services gradually decrease following the death. What I notice and what I would like to see filled is the space at the moment of death. It used to be when I was the hospice nurse, my goal was to be with the patient and family at the moment of death. And today, most families are alone with their loved one when they die. Enter end of life doulas. End of life doulas have the time and not the government restrictions on how they can care for a person and the family. And to me, that's the biggest factor. Hospice care is going to give you a foundation and support during a really scary time in a person's life. End of life doulas are going to give that presence that so often hospice can't give.
Thank you so much for that. That brought tears to my eyes about really, I think the greatest gift that we can provide folks at the end of life is our presence. And so to me, presence is the greatest medicine. So why do you suppose that I think the national average length of stay for patients on hospice is 17 days? Can I ask why is that seems like such a short time to prepare for that end of life experience? Why do you think that is such a short amount of time?
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons. One is that most of us don't know what approaching death looks like. We've just got the movies and people don't die like that. And so when we really recognize as a caregiver, as a family, that, oh yeah, dad's going to die, he is then probably 1 to 3 weeks from death, because now he looks like he's dying. In the months before death, from diagnosis until labor begins, which is the 1 to 3 weeks, a person looks sick, but they don't look like they're dying. And because of that, we think, well, we don't need hospice. Dad's sick. He's not dying. And it isn't until they look like they're dying that we call hospice. And I did this with my own husband. You know, I know better, but I should have called hospice weeks before I did. And I don't think I'm any different than family members. We don't want to see it. And we think people have more time than they do. So I think that that's the key to why there's such late referrals. What would be wonderful is going from palliative care, let's back up, going from a determination of a life-threatening illness. And you do whatever you can to address the life-threatening illness. There will come a point that probably death will start approaching, that you won't be successful, but you still want to try. So then you do palliative care. Palliative care will support you in a life-threatening illness when you're still getting treatment. When you reach a point where treatment is really not being successful, that's the time that you have an evaluation for hospice services. And that can be and probably will be months before death comes, and that you get education. 90% of end-of-life work is providing education, is giving knowledge, because we don't know what it's like to die. And so we have to teach our families what's going to happen and what to do while it's happening.
Thank you so much, Barbara. I could listen to you all day, every day. I learn something every time I listen to you. We just want to thank you so much for donating your time and expertise to Learn Idaho, and to the community, and to the world. Please be sure and visit her website at bkbooks.com to learn more about her blog and all of her amazing resources and books. And please stay tuned for more. We will have more basics with Barbara in the upcoming months. Thank you so much, Barbara. We so appreciate your time.
Oh, it's such a joy to be here. I look at the three of us and we're doing good work in getting knowledge out there to people. So bless you for all that you're doing.
Thank you, Barbara. And I'd love to say hope is not a plan. And that's what we have to do, is help people have a plan. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.